Oh, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and today's episode we're joined by a very special guest, current professional hockey goaltender Conor McCollum. Conor spent this past season in the Federal Prospects Hockey League with the Danbury Hat, where he put up a great year, also winning the FPHL Rookie All-Star team for the Empire Division. But even before his pro career started, he spent 5 years in U Sports with Acadia University. And then even before that, he spent 3 years in the OJHL and 1 year in the MJAHL before joining college and then eventually going pro. So I'm excited to have Conor on. So welcome to the show, Conor McCollum.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, buddy. It's been an episode we've been wanting to make since like the last couple months of the season. So it's good to get you on, and especially in the summertime when it's all chill now compared to when we're all rushing around in the season.
Yeah, exactly. Man, it's good to be home and stuff and just relaxing for a bit.
Yeah, so like what have you been doing since you got home? Like you just recently got home.
Yeah, so I'm living with my girlfriend now. So I'm moved from where I went to school to Halifax in the big city. So now I'm looking for jobs and stuff like that, working out and just hanging out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the toughest part is finding a job in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. So we're in the grind now. We're in the grind
Yeah,
stage.
there you go. But like I wanna hop right into it. And, like your first pro season was this year with Danbury Hat. So like what was this year like for you individually and like team wise as well?
I mean, it was kind of a journey. I started off, I was in Huntsville at the beginning and then went down to Danbury afterwards and stuff. And it was obviously a tough little start there, but just coming into Danbury right away, you could tell like the guys were just unbelievable, a good group of guys, good core. And they had a purpose in mind and they wanted to go back to back. So it was a great spot and a great opportunity for me. So I was really
Yeah,
happy.
yeah, that's good that you felt like it was the right fit and like you obviously fit right in right away. So like what was like the biggest things you learned throughout that first season of professional hockey going from Huntsville to Danbury and just like the experiences and the mysteries that pro hockey brings?
Just embracing the highs and the lows too. Like it's just a roller coaster of emotions and stuff. And you just got to remember that every time you step on that ice, like you just have fun and just enjoy the experiences wherever it's taking you and stuff like that. So yeah, just enjoying every moment. It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing I learned is the ups and downs. Like you're gonna face every bit of that throughout the season. So it's you just gotta find ways to grind through and overcome the adversity that happens because no season's 100% perfect. Like you're gonna hit those bumps in the roads.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you ended up winning, or you ended up going to or being on the All-Star team, like being named to FPHL Rookie All-Star team in the Empire Division. So like, how cool is that to be recognized in the Empire Division and just to get like an award throughout the season for that?
I mean, I wasn't really expecting it. There's a lot of good players and especially
Yeah,
goalies on our side of the division. So it was pretty cool award. And you got to give credit to your teammates and stuff. Like they wouldn't be there or get an award if it wasn't for them. And, we had such a strong decor in Danbury too. So they kind of made my life easy. And it's cool to get an award at the end, but it's not the award that you kind of want at the end. You want the whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, but at least like you said, like at least you got something, and like it goes to the team as well. It's not like goalie's like an individual position, but like you don't you don't win games if it's not for your team in front of you.
No, exactly. So you got to definitely give credit to the
Yeah.
defensive side of our team and stuff because they made it a lot easier than just the goalie all-star kind of award. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you said you spent time in Huntsville before you went to Danbury. So like what was your time in Huntsville like and just getting that experience at the next level?
It was cool. I had a lot of buddies on the Huntsville team. So when I was there, I thought I did well and stuff. And uh, the cut came kind of to like a shock to me and to like some of those teammates and stuff like that. So it was definitely a hard time, but I got a call from Billy like within 2 minutes of getting cut. So it was pretty cool experience there too. And yeah, everything
Yeah.
happens for a reason, right? So yeah, I like the experience there. It was fun.
Yeah, exactly. So then you go to the Feds. Like what was your first like Fed moment that you're like, what's going on? Like you always hear the Fed stories that happen. Like, what was your first taste of it? Like,
Um, it was cool because when I got the call from Billy, it was a Tuesday when I got cut, and then he said, "We want you to come down and we want you to play Friday if it's possible against Bingo." So like Bingo against Danbury in Danbury, like that was just a surreal moment, and like meeting Amesbury and stuff like that, and like how fiery like all the guys get when you play bingo and stuff. Like it was definitely a Fed moment right there, but it was a cool Fed moment. So
yeah,
yeah.
what's it like playing against Bingo? Because like obviously they just won the championship, and like you guys have a big rivalry with Bingo. So like, what's the atmosphere like, especially like at home when the atmosphere is unreal that I've heard in Danbury.
Well, it was interesting where like the whole scheduling of it already made it a rivalry in general. And like no
Yeah,
matter like the history of bingo and Danbury and stuff like that, like I wasn't a part of that history, but like the fact that you play bingo 17 times and like we were like not number two in the side, but like we were close to Motor City and they were number one. And like it was just always a big rivalry. And seeing Kirkby and all those guys like three times on a weekend and stuff, you kind of just get like it's fun playing against them, but you also get sick of seeing them too, right?
yeah,
So it was a big rivalry, but it was fun to play. So yeah, you like playing them.
yes. Yeah, and just seeing like it's fun at first, and then you're like, it just keeps getting repetitive. You're like playing this team 17 times, like it's like that's literally almost a quarter of the season.
Yeah, exactly. But like you have cool moments too.
Yeah,
Like when you want to like be the best, you got to beat the best. That was the mindset.
yeah,
And like first game coming in, like we beat them in a shootout. I had like 50 saves or something like that. And then that was a cool waking up Danbury experience there. And I think New Year's Day we beat them too, and we had a fun New Year's night kind of thing. So like those rivalries and like playing those so many times, like yeah, you get sick of it, but also it's pretty special when
yeah.
you come on top of those games too, because it always felt like playoff games to them. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. And especially when you get the playoff atmosphere, like it's something that you don't take for granted. You just go and you just like it's a cool experience because you don't really get that with a lot of teams.
yeah, yeah, it was fun. I liked it. It was cool, and especially
Yeah.
playing in they had good fans. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. But you guys went into the playoffs and you guys lost to Motor City, I believe, right?
yeah, yeah.
What was the playoff series like for you guys and just going through that series?
Uh, it was quick, right? Two out of three is always tough, right?
Yeah,
And we thought we were the better team. Game one, we played them, and I think it was like a 2-1 overtime. Babin had 70 saves. I had like 50 saves kind of thing. It was a goalie battle. And yeah, it's tough. And then we lost that game and then we had to win two in a row and it was just hard. We won the second game, but then we lost the third. So yeah, it's just a quick series, right? So we had fun, but it was just, yeah, I think it could have been a lot different if it was a longer series or something. We'll see what,
yeah.
yeah.
Quick,
Yeah.
quick 3-3 to for the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's tough.
exactly. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
hard. I don't really do two out of threes, but
yeah, yeah. That's crazy. But like you talked about like mindset a little bit. It's like what's like your mindset as like a goalie? Like I'm sure it changed from going from juniors to college and then college to pro now. It's like what changed in like your mindset and like what's your mindset now?
I think the biggest change was when I was in university and like sitting out for 4 years was kind of hard, like being the third string and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
then when I came back in, I didn't even think I was gonna be able to play or anything. Like it was kind of like a fluke, something happened kind of thing. And they were like, "Oh, you're the number one." So like you never know what happens. And when I step on the ice, I kind of treated that as like, okay, so like I never know if I'm gonna play again. So just have fun with it and just enjoy yourself, like joke around with the team. Like I don't really have the typical goalie mindset where like I'm always smiling, I'm always like talking to the refs and stuff, and I'm just like having fun, right? And I feel like with that kind of mindset, the nerves kind of go away. I'm never nervous on the ice. I'm just enjoying it and I'm just playing hockey. So I feel like changing that mindset for me and then going to Danbury where like I said, the highs and lows, like
Yeah.
just have fun with it. And like every time I go on the ice, have fun, just
Yeah.
stop the
And
it
you
works.
play your best when you're out there just having fun and enjoying the time in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have the typical goalie mindset of
Yeah.
just not talking to anyone, being that like people say it's a weird goalie and like whatever, but no, I'm just enjoying it. So
Is it true that you interact with the fans sometimes too?
oh yeah, it's like I said, kind of with bingo too, like like you kind of sit on the side, right?
Yeah.
And the fans chirp you, and like there were so many goalies that were just like, hey, be prepared, they're gonna chirp you. And um I remember one of those fans was cheering me, and I turned to the security guy and I was like, hey, can I chirp him back? And the guy was just like, yeah, sure, I'm supposed to protect you, kind of thing. So like I kind of just we kind of go back and forth, but then he ended up following me on Instagram and we shoot shit now and stuff like that. So like yeah, like they come to the games, and like I say, I have fun, so I want to make sure they're having fun too. And like whether it's waving at kids or something like that too, like it's fun. It's a fun time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely fun when that happens. 'Cause I remember like I was just with Booch like in the corner there, and we were both getting chirped, and it's like
Yeah.
brings a whole different experience, and it's funny because you're not used to that, just getting chirped, and you're not used to just sitting in the corner for the backup
No.
spot, but like it's funny when that all happens.
Yeah. And like I had like another one where I was in like Motor City for the playoffs, and it's funny when like the fans give you the finger or something like that. And, like, I usually like give them a heart back or something. And they kind of get off, start laughing, and then they start cheering for you at the end. So it's kind of cool, like how you can just turn fans around. And like I think a kid kind of looked at me and started waving, and I kind of just waved back. And then I ended up meeting him afterwards. He was kind of waiting for me to come outside, and then he was wearing purple and all that stuff for motor. And I was like, "Are you wearing purple?" And he was like, "The mom goes, yeah, but I think you just changed him for a Danbury fan." So like, you never know the impact you have. And I've had like two or three stories of that in the Fed already. So you just never know what you can do, just like a wave or something. So that's yeah,
Yeah, because like one of my friends like said that you were like interacting with one of her friends, and like it like made him like super happy. So like
yeah,
I knew that it was like you did that, but like I just wanted to make sure, and like
yeah.
that's the best things about it, like just that you can turn off that serious mode but also still have fun.
Yeah,
Eh,
exactly. And then, but like when the puck drops,
Yeah,
obviously it's a
obviously
game
you're
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But like, yeah, in between whistles and stuff, kind of just relax, have fun again, and yeah,
Yeah, that when I was in the finals in the MIHL this year, like fans were just chirping me the entire time. I was just smiling at them, laughing, but laughing with them and just like enjoying the moment. Like that's when you play the best, is when you're enjoying the moment and you're able to just turn those fans into your little fans, I guess you could say.
at the end of the day, they're still chanting your name, right? So you just, I just kind of enjoy it. Like if they ever like yell my name or anything like that, that's just it's fun. I don't know, I like it. So
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is for sure. But I want to get into like your university career a little bit here, since it was like you had faced some adversity. It's like you said, not playing for 4 years. So like what was like what let's start off with like what made you commit to Acadia University and go to school there?
Um, I think like I had like D3 offers and stuff, but like at the end of the day, when I was looking at it, I could have been a number one goalie D3 right away, but the price would have, as a Canadian, would have been
Yeah.
more expensive to go down there still than to go to Acadia. And then I looked at that, and then I also looked at the degree in general. Like if I'm staying in Canada at the end, like an Acadia degree would look a lot better.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, like when I chose, like when I saw Acadia and I was just like, I got to find my way to get on that team. It's just because there's nothing but good things that have ever happened from Acadia. So, yeah, like when people talk about it, it's like playing D1 of like the AUS kind of thing, where like there's probably like four other Canadian teams that can like comprehend and like have the fan base and the community
Yeah.
base like that. So I just wanted to get my school degree, but also play on like the best possible team. And if I got a chance to play, then I got a chance to play. And that was my mindset going in. So and then kind of there you go, it kind of happened, right? So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, so you spent 4 years not playing and being like the third strings. How do you approach practices and everything when you knew you weren't gonna get game time? Even though I know knew your mindset was like you never know when you could play. But, like, what were you doing at practice to help you get ready for that chance when it did come?
Yeah, like you just never know what happens too. Like
Yeah,
even like the first couple of practices in my mindset was I feel like I can play. Like at first I was looking around and seeing hockey bags from like all these like NHL camps and stuff like that. Like half the team went to NHL camps. We were a really good team. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Kind of thing.
yeah,
And then once I stepped on the ice, I was just like, okay, I can actually like I can play with these guys, right? And it wasn't just that, but it was the guys also telling me that, whoa, like you can play with us. Like we've never had like a third stringer like actually like be able to play kind of thing. They're more just like walk-ons and stuff like that. So like it's cool having the support from your teammates too.
yeah,
And just I stayed us all the time and like the boys really kind of just like love that too, right? Like if you wanted extra shots, I was always on and stuff like that. And like when I first started at Acadia, there was another goalie that came that was my age, and he was like WHL goalie of the year. He was once in a trade 1-for-1 for Skinner, who's playing in the NHL now. I knew that like I would never like take his spot, but at the same time, you never know what happens, kind of
yeah,
thing. Because of COVID, he got like called up early, like 2 years down the road. Like everything kind of like works out. And like the other goalie, he wanted to go back home. He missed home. He played volleyball. He was really good at volleyball too. And then it kind of just left me as the number one. And then it was so like you never know what happens, and you just keep working hard. Yeah,
yeah. And like especially like if you're in that position, you're willing to go above and beyond for the boys. Like you get that respect factor, and like you
yeah,
just and like they respect you, and like you obviously respect them and want to get better and willing to take the extra reps after practice, whether it be 10 minutes of reps, 20, 30, whatever it is.
exactly. So that was the one that like really pushed me. Like finally, like when the coaches kind of just said, "Hey, you can play" and stuff, you're going in, and like I already knew that from like the guys like 2 years down the road where like they
Yeah.
wanted to see me in that, right? So like they love the opportunity that I got, and then once you get it, you just kind of I just had fun with it because I did like it was 4 years of not playing, so like I was like, okay, cool, right? So
Yeah. So
yeah.
what was that first game that you got to play in, like, and just being able to finally get in a game and have fun, like you said?
It was fun. We played, I think it was Dal for an exhibition game. So like it wasn't like a regular season where it's like you're dialed in yet or anything
Yeah.
like you are dialed in, but Dal was kind of like a weaker team in the division, and like they didn't get a lot of fans, so it was just kind of more of me and the boys, and we're just playing hockey and stuff like that. You didn't need to like really get that huge pressure, and I think we
Yeah.
got the win too, and like getting that first win and saying, okay, like I can do this, I'm your guy, like that was huge. So yeah, and then it just kind of kept going, so it was fun.
Yeah, you went from like the guy saying that you can play, like you knew you could play, and then you get a win and you're like, I can do this 100%. Like I'm your guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was just that little stepping stone. It kind of worked out, and we kind of just kept rolling forward with it. So yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of worked. So yeah.
Yeah, and then you got playing 21 games, so you go from playing 0 to 21 right away. So like what was the transition going from not playing to getting a lot of games, and like obviously you have to keep your body healthy and all that. So like what do you do to help maintain your body?
I think it was just like, okay, well, I didn't really take 4 years off and stuff. And like, I was always that guy that was probably working out more than the other like goalies that were here. And I was that guy that like was on the ice. So like I was ready to go kind of thing. And then it was kind of not taking a step back, but like kind of okay, now that I was at the gym, instead of lifting weights, now I'm gonna be stretching more and stuff like that. And like it's different approaches to it, and just making sure you're still ready for it. But like I knew like my body was prepared to start and like be the starter and stuff
Yeah.
because I was training with those guys that were starters, right? So like I knew I was doing that. So I've seen it through those guys, and yeah, it always just works out and stuff where it's like everything happens for a reason. You just gotta believe in yourself and more importantly, have your teammates believe in you, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
And just build your confidence when you got the coaching staff, your teammates, and everyone on board with knowing that you can play and everything, and have that and like it just builds that confidence, and you're gonna be dialed from the start of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and like that's like one of the biggest things I learned, like what you're saying with like just like treating your body right and everything. Like you wouldn't think that like being just practicing is gonna wear down your body, but like it definitely does. So you really have to like take care of yourself in the gym, stretch like a lot because you're going down 100, 200, 300 times throughout the week, and like it definitely takes a toll on your body. So just eating healthy, getting that good nutrition, and just being able to just help your body stay active and stay healthy throughout the season.
Yeah, yeah, and that's important. And it's like that's the big thing that I learned at Acadia because like there were so many guys that came from like the CHL and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and like learning from those guys. And when I was the starter, I was lucky to live with the captain of the team. So like learning from him and like he was like very like eat right. He does runs all the time if he's not playing hockey and stuff like that. And like learning from him was huge and like learning how to be a leader and stuff like that in the room and stuff. Like I learned a lot from that guy. So like I really was like fortunate for everything that I got from Acadia to like move on.
yeah, that's huge, and like you just take that to like your own life, and then you get the chance to play pro, and like you get to excel in that situation, that experience, and like you already had like the start from what you learned in university.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, but like I've always heard that like university hockey in Canada is like very good, and like you see some cool places. Like, where are some of those cool places that you got to see from university?
um so I was from Toronto before I got traded out to Nova Scotia and just like just Nova Scotia in general was really cool and stuff. Visiting Halifax for the first time, like it's a nice city where it's like you have like a big city feel, but it's also on the ocean and stuff.
Yeah,
And they have two schools there where Dalhousie and SMU play and stuff like that. So like that's pretty cool. Um, I feel like everyone this year has kind of heard of the UNB run, and like everyone knows how like much of a
yeah,
juggernaut they were. But like in Canada, like everyone knows about UNB. Like in general, like they were always the team. So like playing them in their barn for the first time was a pretty surreal experience for me. Like I never thought I would like when I was a kid to like ever like play against UNB or like be there and stuff. So it was pretty cool. So like seeing those buildings and stuff like that and facing off against those teams were pretty cool.
yeah. That's sick, and like just to experience everything on like the ocean, then New Brunswick, like what they go like 30-0 or something like that this year, something crazy like that.
Like when I played them last year, they were like the number one team too, and they won the whole thing. They weren't 30-0, but they were a juggernaut still. But
Yeah,
like half their team were like first year still. So like when I was leaving, I was like, that team is gonna be like sick. So like they're gonna be great next year too, I think. So like we'll see. But they're a wagon, that's for sure.
yeah, absolutely. I remember seeing them all over Instagram. So like I was like, yeah, like this team's crazy good. Like they're a team to be messed with, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a cool experience playing those guys. And I think we took them to overtime a couple times last year, so it
There we
was
go.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but like obviously spent 5 years at Acadia. So like what, like thinking about it, like all, like what would you say your experience there was like with school, with hockey, and like what you learned from there?
Uh I feel like it's just the time of your life, right? Like
Yeah,
I made friends there like off the ice. Like when I was there for my first year as the practice goalie is what they called me. I was living on res too, and like no hockey players lived on res before me, kind of thing. Like, but at the same time, it's one of those things where like you build positives from it because I met so many friends that first year and I continued on through that and um just starting from the third string to the first string in 5 years And then I ended up getting the MVP for the team and like seeing like the players that were MVP and stuff on that trophy is pretty cool. So like it's just kind of a surreal 5 years for me. And like on top of the MVP, I also got it was male athlete leadership award. So like out of all sports for the males, like I got that leadership award, which I wasn't even expecting. They said my name and I was going down. I was like, whoa, like that's something surreal. So like I never would have if you told me all that stuff that like happened in my 5th year, my first year, I like wouldn't believed you and stuff like that. So just it's just if it was one word I could say for it, it's surreal. And yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible just to go from third string to first string, get the leadership award, the male athlete of the year award, MVP, like
Yeah.
that's surreal, like you said, like that's something that like you can't even put into words because like you just work so hard for it and then it actually comes and you're like, wow, like step
Yeah.
back and then take it all in.
Yeah. Like never thought I would have played. Like obviously like believed that I was going to play and stuff, but
Yeah.
like to actually say I was the number one goalie and got MVP and stuff, like it's surreal. And I never thought I would actually get like a pro contract after this and stuff. And to do what I've done in the last couple of years, I never would have thought it would happen, and it's happened, and I'm just enjoying every minute of it. So
Yeah, just gotta enjoy the ride.
yeah,
It's what it's
exactly,
all about.
exactly. So yeah,
Yeah, but I want to get into like your youth career here a little bit and then going into junior. So you're from Pickering, Ontario, which is like near Toronto, right?
yeah, yeah. It's like
So like
40
what
minutes.
yeah. Yeah, so like what was youth hockey like for you growing up and when did you like really start playing the game of hockey?
I started skating when I was like 3, goalie when I was 4. Like when I was a player, I wasn't bad, but like I was not as good as goalie, even
Yeah.
like so. I kind of just stuck with it, and I was the only one that was really having fun when you were doing the rotations and stuff like that. So they kind of just kept me in net, and I did well, and I played AAA all the way up and stuff, and um, yeah, it was a fun minor hockey experience and stuff, and there was a lot of good players that came out of that league, and it's just cool seeing where a lot of those guys ended up and stuff, and um I didn't get drafted my draft year, but that allowed me to stay one more year AAA for midget, and then our team went like 44 1 and no 44 0 and 2 or something like that,
There
like
you go.
on since like November on, and then we won the championship and stuff like that, and then I made junior after. So like I always say, everything happens for a reason. And like those group of guys are just always like on my phone now, and we're still texting and stuff. Like whenever you have a championship team, like you're out, like you're there for life and stuff. And I think it's 10 years this year. So we might try to like meet up and stuff like that. So it was cool. And then I got to play 4 to 5 years of junior because of it. So yeah, it was,
Yeah. That's sick and like like you said like you like you said the whole episode like it's all about having fun like that's what youth hockey's about is just enjoying the sport and everything. So like
yeah.
was that championship run like some of your favorite memories from your youth hockey career?
Oh, for sure. And like for my team, we were always like fourth place out of like 6, I think, on our side of our division or whatever. And then we play the first team and then get bounced and then you're in the toilet bowl or whatever.
Yeah,
So I like our midget year is for like a year older and a year younger. And like it's like whoever like gets drafted doesn't make the OHL or anything like that, they stay. So both years we were kind of like that team that was like always going to be fourth place kind of thing. And then our coaches, all 3 of them just stopped playing from D3. And apparently we weren't even supposed to have a team. We were supposed to like, if it wasn't like from that deadline, like we were all going to like look for midget teams somewhere else. But then those 3 D3 guys were just like, hey, we're going to take them on and see what happens. And then our first meeting, we came in and they were just like, okay, like you guys came from like a fourth place team, but we can see you guys gluing and we can see you guys winning like the Telus Cup. And then like the Telus Cup is like the big tournament where like all the BC and like all those like teams come together kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like we're like, yeah, what is this guy on kind of thing, right? Like we're just like that. Like that's not we're a fourth place team, and then
You should get bounced first round.
yeah, exactly. And like when we finally bought in, like kind of, I think November we were in a tournament and we made it to the quarterfinals, but we beat like the first place team going to like the quarters or the semis or whatever it was. After that tournament, we went 44-0 and whatever kind of thing. And we just believed in each other. I've never had like such a close group of guys that like even if we were down by two in the third, we knew we had third period legs compared to like anyone else, and we would win those games too. And like it was a cool experience there. So
Yeah.
we were like when we did our provincials or whatever that we won, after that we were number one team in Canada too. And like from like the team that always finished fourth in our division to being the number one team in Canada. It was pretty cool. So,
Yeah, it's a bit of a jump going from fourth to getting bounced first round to going on a huge 44-0-2 run or whatever. Like,
yeah. So yeah, like I never would have imagined that experience in AAA, but to have that and to have like a championship ring with those guys and stuff, it was yeah, it was awesome.
yeah, you can't make that shit up.
No, no, you can't.
Yeah, but then you go on to your junior career after AAA. Like, what was that transition period like going from AAA hockey to the OJHL?
Um, I kind of carried through to my last year of that AAA because I was a call up for the junior team that finally took me on and stuff. And that's kind of why I ended up there, is because they had faith in me, like even before, like, right. So like I had that connection and I had that trust from that team and I got called up there and I had a really good rookie year. I think in December I got rookie of the month or something and I did well. And it got me camps to my first year. It was Saginaw and it was pretty cool, like the OHL. And then after that, I did well again. And then I got a camp to Blainville Armada and Montembeau was their goalie and stuff like that, which was pretty surreal too. So he was definitely one of the nicest guys I've met, but also like one of the better goalies I've seen play. So it was
Yeah,
cool having that experience with him and stuff. And then uh, I played one more year, but then I got traded from my hometown team to Nova Scotia. And like when I first got the call, I couldn't even put Nova Scotia on the map. There's like four like islands and stuff, and uh, I I was thinking about quitting hockey after that. Like my dad made the call and stuff like that, and like they were like, "Do you want to keep going? Do you want to like leave your house?" kind of thing because I was in my hometown. And when the coach called me, he said, "We're trying to win a championship. All we're missing is a goalie. We're gonna." So in the OJ too, you have to pay for all your like equipment, pay for
yeah,
like playing and stuff like that. And he was like, "You're gonna get everything free pads, free everything, free flight out here and stuff like that. We'll bill it you." And I'm like, why not give it a shot? And then next thing you know, I'm ending up at Acadia. I'm living in Halifax with my girlfriend and stuff. And I'm happy I didn't quit hockey because I wouldn't be in this spot right now. Right. So
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Like you said, like life takes you in so many different directions and everything happens for a reason.
yeah.
And glad you didn't quit because look at what you've done throughout the course of your career so far.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm always the firm believer of everything happens for a reason. And that's kind of the biggest thing of why everything happens for a reason, because I almost quit hockey and I don't know where I would be if I didn't accept that trade to Bridgewater, Nova Scotia. So
Yeah. So like what was that transition going from being in your hometown team to going to Nova Scotia and like really like living outside of your comfort zone?
I think it made me find kind of myself, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. You're not living off of your parents anymore. You're in a new community, you're learning from like other people, and like it's definitely like a different culture too, from Toronto to Nova Scotia. And like it's friendly, it's you got to know your neighbors, it's you
Yeah.
knowing your community and stuff like that. And I think that team really changed me like for who I am and stuff. And the fan base was electric. Like it was probably it's kind of like Danbury where it wasn't like the most fans in the like the rink kind of thing compared to like bingo or anything like that. But like it's definitely the loudest, right? And
Yeah.
I think you guys know that too. It's pretty cool. But um yeah, I love my experience there because it's changed me for the better. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's made you stronger and like you're able to live on your own now and it probably made you grow up a lot, especially going from being at home to having to completely live on your own and see where it takes you.
Yeah. No, my billet parents definitely kept me more accountable and stuff like that as like a older, like I think it was a 20-year-old and stuff like that. So yeah, I really lucked out. I had two billet families and stuff. So like it was pretty cool experience.
Yeah, that's seems like a cool experience. And you go from the OJHL to the MJHL. It's like, what was that transition and like the competition and just going from one league to the next?
Um I I don't know if it's like I'm older and stuff and like more mature or anything, but I felt that the Maritime League was definitely a lot stronger and a lot, but like it was also less teams. So I don't want to say like the OJ was watered down or anything like that, but
Yeah,
like with less teams, there was a lot more depth on each line and stuff. And playing against Nova Scotia boys, it's very tough and right. And I thought it was a really cool experience because with the less teams, each team had a lot of fans too. So like you would have a couple teams that like had like over 1,000 in the OJ when I was playing. But when you were in the Maritime League, you had 1,000 every game kind of thing.
yeah,
And very supportive fans because like there's no Toronto hockey, there's no OHLs or anything like that. Like that was like the team to watch and stuff. So like there were like really good locations for like communities that wanted the hockey. So it was cool. It was a very cool experience.
yeah. Those are sometimes the best places to play where it's like that's all they have is probably pretty incredible and like you because like that's all they really have. So like it doesn't matter what league or what level it is, like it's hockey and it's a fun sport obviously and like fans love that and like so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like for where I was, well, where I was playing for like high school hockey and stuff like that, our hockey was really good. And like the rivalries that we like built out of that, it was crazy. But like our rink was 10 minutes away from the high school. So like students would have to drive and all that stuff. And it was never like popular where
Yeah.
it's like fans going and stuff, and we never got fans. But for the high school there, they had like 300 to 500
Wow.
fans. It was like 2 minutes away, but like, and not gonna like bash on or anything, but it wasn't as good as where I was from and stuff like that. And like, but it was still like the fan support out there for whatever hockey it was just incredible to see. Cause that would be like the OJ fans, like the
Yeah.
500 kind of thing. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, wherever there's hockey or a sport going on, like in a community like that, like everyone's all for it, and you're gonna pack the barn for sure.
Yeah, like, and it's like I said before too, it's like where I'm from, it's hard to get that kind of support just because you could go and watch Toronto, or like you can go watch the Oshawa Generals, which was like 20 minutes away, the OHL,
Yeah,
right? Like you're not going to see that junior A game, but like when you're out there, it's like an hour drive to see the Halifax Mooseheads, which is kind of the Toronto Maple Leafs of that area.
yeah,
Like that fan support's crazy too, but it's just because they're like the Maple Leafs, right? But for Acadia too, it's like an hour away. Like you might as well just go to the Acadia game and support them, right? So just like the support in Nova Scotia area was just incredible.
yeah, and like there's just rowdy fans everywhere. Like you know everyone's there to have a good time, and it's gonna be a great atmosphere. Like especially like a lot of the fan bases in the Fed, like university, like all there. Like you're gonna have good support and everything. Like it's and you love playing again and playing in situations like that.
Yeah. So I just have fun with it and the fans have fun. So it's all that matters, right? So,
Yeah, exactly. But I have a few more questions before we wrap things up here. So, do you have any tips for goalies looking to get to the next level, whether it be juniors to university, college pro, or anywhere in general?
I think it's just that typical like trust the process a little bit,
Yeah.
and like there is highs and lows, and like no matter like how high or low it is and stuff like that, like if you really love hockey and you sticking with it, like everything will happen for a reason. And I couldn't think of a better story than mine, kind of thing, with like 4 years of being the third string, and I still loved it and the boys still believed in me. And as long as you still have that belief, then keep going with it and just enjoy the ride, right? So
Yeah. That's a great piece of advice, and like just trusting like that's the biggest thing like I've learned throughout my career so far is just enjoy the process. Like obviously when you're younger, like you have like big expectations. You're like, I want to play in the NHL. Like I want to play it in the NHL by like when I'm 18, like something unrealistic like that. But like if you really enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the process, and enjoy going to the rink every day, even when like practices are the same every day and like you're just like dragging practice and dragging going to the workouts. Like as long as you're just enjoying it and still having fun, like nothing's better than that, and you can't beat it.
exactly. I've seen like a lot of guys like throughout my career where like they just didn't have the enjoyment or the love that they once had, right?
Yeah.
They were still great players, but they kind of just slipped away from it. But like if that passion is still there, just keep going, right? And just enjoy it and just see what happens and just work hard. So
Yeah. No low point will be like the death of you. Like if you love it, like you're gonna push through that lowest
yeah,
point to get to because it's always gonna get better no matter how low you are.
sun always comes up. There's another day. It's a new
Yeah,
day. So
exactly. That's a great way to put it. But I like to ask like all the goalies and like all like the people I have on here like this question. So like obviously like during like pregame warm-ups and all that, like are you listening to music or like what kind of guy are you like on game day?
I'm a little bit of everything where I'm listening to my own music. Like I have my own kind of ritual where like I'm juggling and like stretching and all that, and I'd be listening to my own music. But when I was in Danbury, I kind of had the new role of the DJ, so it was pretty cool. But
What were
yeah,
you
because
playing?
a little bit of everything. Like I like old time like throwback rocks and stuff like that if you want, but like rap you can get Drake because I'm from Toronto and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Like EDM, all that stuff. So I do a little bit of everything, and that's kind of I think why I got the DJ role too, where it's yeah, like everyone kind of like just enjoys what the new mix is kind of thing. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's sick, and like that's kind of like what my playlists are is like everyone always asks like what are you listening to before games and everything, and like I literally go from rock to rap to country to pop to
Yeah,
EDM. Like it literally is like I have no one specific genre. It's whatever I feel like I just put on.
exactly. I usually have like a little ritual of like my own kind of music, but when it comes to like the team and stuff, like it's kind of like all over the place. So yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that's the best way to put it because it different types of genres gives you different types of energy and like you need that throughout the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But like what's some of your like your rituals and like routines and like what do you do on game days leading up to the game?
Uh Game day, like the pre, I'm not too like I'm not a big ritual guy. Like if it ruins the routine, then it kind
Yeah.
of ruins it. Like I don't let it affect me, but like it's kind of like going to the rink. That's when the ritual kind of starts and stuff. And I always like go down, tape my stick before I kind of visualize like saves and like tape that up. Once I'm done that, then just kind of get juggling. And it's always kind of like that same like routine of what I'm doing, not really a ritual or anything, but yeah. My mom gave me this like lucky elephant that I would just like rub my hands with and stuff. The boys kind of laugh at it when I bring it on the bus, but she was a figure skater before and it brought her good luck and it kind of brought me good luck, I feel. So
Yeah.
it's one of those. But like other than that, there's not really too much. Yeah, I'm
Gotta
just
keep
kind of
doing whatever works.
exactly right. So
Yeah, and like that's like the biggest thing is like when it comes to like routines, like don't let it like be like, oh, if I can't do this, like I'm gonna have a bad game. Like don't let it
yeah,
affect how your performance is before you even get out there.
no, exactly. Like I don't want to be like, oh, I forgot my like to tie my right shoe before my left or anything, and then well, we're gonna lose the game, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't want that stuff, but like some goalies are like that, obviously, but like why, right?
Yeah.
Can't.
Yeah, like for me, it's like I play Suro with the boys. Like that's one of the first things I do.
Yeah,
And then go to the dynamic stretching, like the high knees, like butt kickers, stuff like that. Like the quad stretches, and then get to do a couple like sprints and like a couple like band work, and then 20 to 30 minutes before like warm ups, like start getting dressed and get
yeah,
ready for the for warm ups and then the game.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's still a routine, right? Like
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Simple is always better for me at
exactly.
least.
Yeah, you don't want it to affect your game or anything.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's a great place to wrap this episode up. So Connor, thank you again for coming on the show. I appreciate your time and want to wish you the best of luck wherever
Yeah,
next
thank you,
year
buddy.
leads you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.